Howdy, howdy. My name is Landon Daly, but in creative circles I go by Ellery the Explorer, hoping that this can be one of those. This is kind of a part two to my off-season application. The coolest thing that I've ever built definitely would have to be my senior capstone project for Texas A&M. We built the precursor to JARVIS. All we need to really add is a text-to-speech module and maybe some humor, and it really could be what we're shooting for, specifically for enabling engineering documentation. So I had to redact this from removing the references to the company that we worked with due to NDA, but I am all good to share exactly what we did though. So I'm going to go and do that real quick. So the problem, there's a lot of digital organization that needs to occur in bigger companies. So what we aimed to do is build a document management system that is AI powered. So had some user needs. Had to be secure, locally processed. We couldn't just use like a notebook LM, but that is probably the closest thing in industry that replicates the functionality of what we were working with. Had to be self-hosted as stated, the cost of which had to be kind of affordable instead of just buying an enterprise license to anything else, and had to actually work. So I do not have access to the deployment for this, but I've got this poster, so it's perfectly fine, right, guys? But yeah, we built JARVIS. So we build an AI-powered electronic document management system for the engineers at this redacted company to upload all of their documentation and be able to chat with that database. So basic little tech stack. Had to run through some optical character recognition, do metadata tagging. So these are all models that we built based on Tesseract, and then I believe it was based on fuzzy search for the tagging. They got this document management system. We use paperless NGX. I can kind of show it over there with a LangChain pipeline. So we had basic context. Question was sent from the user, QA goes to the LLM, it brings in the document, and then you get an answer. It's pretty simple, but it took a lot of time to get working. So optical character recognition was not my subset, but it was still really cool. We were working towards getting a handwriting model and stuff figured out. Smart tagging was also really cool. We were doing a lot of just the basic text processing, semantic clustering, and then searching through all that using the fuzzy search and all that kind of stuff. It's very fun. Where I was more involved is in the question answering model itself, building out a little chat UI and allowing it to ask it questions. And this was all locally processed, so the timing was not the best, but on the deployment, I'm hearing that it's a lot better. On the integration itself, we were building on an open sourced document management system called Paperless NGX that had a lot of the base functionality, but we wanted it to be better and quicker, so we made it better and quicker. It doesn't seem so cool until you see the testing data. For optical character recognition, we were working on handwriting a lot, but it's an active area of research. It still is really cool how accurate we were able to have both the text and the handwriting itself. What we had built out was the ability to have tabular structured data stay tabularly structured, so the actual engineering data can be scanned in. One of the problems in specific was that they would acquire these companies and there would be tons of paper data, so they would have to manually go in and fix all that. Moving to the digital age is not as easy as one would think, so we're potentially saving them hundreds of hours on engineers' time. But yeah, so more data, recall, latency timing, just testing that the integration didn't screw things up. But yeah, and then the solution, we're hoping that we can get onto some local hardware for further development. I tested working on a little Raspberry Pi unit just with some Ollama instances, and it worked, but it was not the best. But it's still really cool, and as soon as we were using Halo processors, as soon as those get up to spec, it's going to be a mean local processing machine. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, just the amount of hyper productivity that can come out of a system like this. But yeah, and we were working with Dr. Diaz and Dr. Bunok over at Texas A&M. But yeah, gig 'em.